Hi everybody, this is Ellen. In this tutorial I'm going to show you how to make the Hello Kitty dress. I've made it kind of on the simple plain side so that I'm hoping that you'll kind of add some embellishments to it to make it your own. It's the same pattern on both sides, so it's kind of like a reversible tunic, I guess, as far as from front to back. This is would be like kind of like the growing up design side. You can flip it around and use the other side as well with kind of the braided look. I would suggest though that if you do that, that you reduce the amount by maybe 2 rows at the end so that it is shorter, because it is too long if it is, I guess it's more like pajamas if you go this way. And if you pull it down enough, I think she'll stand up as kind of like a base for her. But that's up to you. And this is the Halloween dress that I made for her. I added some buttons to the front, and then some striping. I do intend for it to actually be worn on the other side though, so it's kind of my preference for this doll. But there are also other options for clothes for this until either I kind of see how people react to actually wanting more clothes for her, and then I can try and think of some other design ideas for that, or if people just kind of get it on their own and start making things for her to wear, or just prefer to have the doll like this. But there are other things. There are some hook-only designs that I've been doing recently. This is the large retro pop flower. You could take this and find the center of it and stretch it up over the doll to her neck, of course being careful you don't break that center cap band. So we stretch up to her neck, and you position 3 petals in the back and 3 in the front. Then you find one of those big loops on the side, tuck her arm in there, and an arm on the other side, and then just fluff it accordingly. You can have a pretty cute dress that way. If people like it, I can figure out how to reduce this so that it's not quite so poofy, but more kind of stays down a little bit better. But there's that option. There's the smaller or the regular retro pop flower as well that could be used for a skirt. Same principle. Very pretty that way as well. There's also the granny squares. This is the doubled granny square, because I guess I consider it to have double crochet. But like this can be, for this one I think I like the idea of using it as a kind of coat. So corner to corner on her. And you can put a little button on the corner, little hood. And I can adjust the patterns to these as well so that they can be used better, but like I said, we'll kind of see how it goes for people liking this or not. So there's that option too. It's kind of cute. This is the single crochet one. This one looks cute as a poncho on her. Squish her head in there. So bring it around her neck, and then just kind of center it corner to corner. Find a spot to pull her arms out through. Looks like my ends came untied. Then you have a little poncho that way too. So there are tons of options for things that you may have already made as well. So I just thought I'd show those real quick. There's also the kaleidoscope, using that as a skirt, the large one, and then you can figure out the top, and so lots of different things. But I just thought I'd show you that. I'll also show you how I made the bow. And for the dress, for just the basic dress, it is 177 bands. But I think it's cute, and like I've said in the original Hello Kitty tutorial, the reason why I like this idea is that this is band heavy, I know it is. But if you only have to make one of them, you know, it'll make a huge difference, and then you can make the clothes different or separately, and you don't have to keep recreating a new doll if you want to change the colors. So I really like that idea, and I hope that you guys like it as well. So we'll get started. It is on one loom. I'm going to kind of work sideways at first, but then I do turn it around and I have the wrong end towards me most of the time, so. But we're going to make her a pink party dress this time. And add a little flower to it. This one, like I think I said, I added beads to it. I'll show you where I added them and what row this is, and then you can kind of gauge if you want to do it, or also do wrap bands, make like a polka dot dress. Add little, just throw extra bands in there so they kind of pop out to be a puffy, feathery skirt type thing. So many different options to make it super cute and make it unique to yourself. So, but we'll get started. The dress is made from the top down, so we start with the shoulders first and then it goes down. So, first we're going to work on 2 pins here, and then we'll skip a pin for the middle, and then we'll work on 2 pins over here, or 2 pin rows. So, starting just kind of in the middle somewhere, everything is single banded. I'm going to take a band and go across like this. Another band, long cross over the top of that. And then where this one ended, we'll do the short one back that way, and then a long cross over the top. And then right here on the end, 2 pins, we're going to take 1 band and double it. Like that. So like I said, I'm going to skip a row, and then starting over here. So skip a row, and then starting right here, do that little short one, and do a long cross over the top. And a short one, then a long cross, and then again on the 2 pins right here, 1 band doubled on the pin, and then cross it when you put it on. So then what we're going to do is loom out these 2 shoulder straps. So going in through, oh, it's going to turn it the other way so I can get in there a little bit better. Going in through the figure 8s that we made, we're going to loom out the crosses. So first we want to start with the one that's underneath. In this case it is the short one. So go to this pin, go in there, grab that one, loom it back towards itself, and then we'll go and get that other long one, if I can find it. Grab that one and pull it back towards itself. Then we'll do the short one, which is underneath, and then the long one. So like that. Then we'll do the same thing with the one up here, using the figure 8s as our cap bands. Move it up this time. We'll go in and grab that short one first, which should be underneath the long one. Flip that over, then come back and get the long one out of the other side. Then the short one, and then the long one. And then push that down. So that's what we have now. So now what we're going to do, I'm going to turn this back, no, I'll leave it that way. Now what we're going to do is take a row. We're going to go around the 6 pins, kind of like each one would be its own little growing up design, I guess. So just 1 band and go around in a little circle. Like that. And do the same thing on the other one. Like that. So then we will loop these over. It's going to be the bottom 2 all the way around. So 2 here, 2 in the middle, 2 on the end. Two bands here, and the 2 bands on the one side are going to be the doubled bands, so just flip those over. We just want to leave the top 2 bands all the way around. should be 2 bands on every pin now. Push these down. And then what we want to do is we want to reduce the middle of the straps so that there's the better divide there. So how we do that, it's on the middle pins here. You're going to pick up the top band, pull it up. This one is coming from the left, so I'm going to pull it over to the right. And I'm going to grab the other one down there. And this one should be coming from the opposite side, so you usually just put it on the other pin without kind of thinking about it like you do it when you first pick it up. Because like this one, I first pick it up, I got to make sure that it's coming from the right, so this one goes to the left. And the other one, I just pull it over to the other pin. And we'll do the same thing on this one. It's coming from the left, so it goes to the right. Grab the other one, pull it to the other side. And the same thing down here. So it's coming from the right, so it goes to the left. And this one goes to the other side. Just like this. So push all that down. So now what we're going to do is do our row, but we're going to kind of fill up our center here. So it's going to be 1 band, and we're going to work on these 2 pins here first. Put it on, twist it, put another one on, twist it, and then over on the other side, right here, but twisted, and another one, but twisted. So that's what we have right now. So now what we're going to do is go up both sides, and when we're over the top of the twisted bands, we're going to twist them again. Just helps to tighten up the neckline a little bit. So first it'll be 1 regular band, and a twisted band, and another twisted band, then a regular band, and down here, regular band, twisted band, twisted band, and regular band. So like that. So now we're going to do some flipping over. And first it's going to be the bottom 2, then it'll be the bottom 3, bottom 2 in the middle, bottom 3, and bottom 2. Then on this side, it's going to be the bottom 2, then the bottom 3, bottom 2 in the middle, and the bottom 3, and the bottom 2. So the ends in the middle have 2, and then the other ones in between have 3. Then we're going to do single band rows down, just row down in each side. So 1 band all the way up each side. Like so. I'm going to do some flipping. On the end, it's going to be the bottom band only. Then right here, it's going to be 3 bands. Then it'll be 2 bands. Then 3 bands. And then just 1 band on the end. Other side, starting at the top here, 1 band. 3 bands, 2 bands, 3 bands, and 1 band over. So I'll push all that down. Now this is the row that I had added my beads on, so if you want to do that you can. I'm going to add that 1 button on. It doesn't really matter which side of the dress you consider to be the front or the back. They're both, the dress, like I said, is the same down both sides, so I guess I'm going to consider this side to be the front. So we're going to have 2 rows. If you don't do anything on this row, it's just 2 rows, or a row down each side, single banded. So if this is the back of my dress, I'm just going to do 1 band all the way down, like that. And this will be the front of my dress. So I'm going to start with 1 band, and I'm going to put my flower on. So I'm just threading a band through the back of this button. And put that on, like so. And then 2 more regular bands. Like that. And you don't have to use the button, you don't have to use anything, it's up to you. Alright, so now for flipping, on the end it's going to be 1 band, then 2 bands, and hidden behind here it's going to be 2 bands in the middle, then 2 bands, and 1 band again. And on the back side, 1 band on the end, then 2 bands, 2 bands, and 2, and then 1 on the end. So go ahead and push all those down. So now what we're going to start to do is connect the sides of the dress. So now we've made the armholes. And what we're going to do first to start is we're going to take 1 band and we're going to double it, and we're going to fill up these spaces here on the end. So 1 band, double it on the pin right here, twist it, and put it on. And do the same thing for the other space right here. Then come up here, take the band. This time we'll just go from left to right again. Same thing, doubled, twisted, double, and twisted. So now we're going to do a row around, and when we get to where the double twisted bands are, we're going to do the exact same thing right on top of them. So if I'm starting here at this corner, my first 2 bands will be the doubled twisted bands. Like that. And it'll be single bands up. And then doubled twisted bands. And then single band down. Like so. So now for flipping, on the end it's going to be 4 bands, so it'll be 2 regular bands and then it's a double band. So technically, never mind. Flip over the bottom 4. Get too involved here in my explanation. Bottom 4, go over the top. In here in the middle, so we got to start looping here now. It's going to be the bottom 4 for the doubled bands. We'll come over this side, be the bottom 4 again. Now we'll come on the front side, it's going to be 2. There's 2 in the middle here. And then 2 again. And then 4 on the end. And then 4 right here. And 4 again. and then 2 for the rest here, because we already did that one. So push those down. Now we're just going to do a row all the way around with a single band. So 1 band all the way around. The button is getting in my way. Like so. So now, flipping, basically just flip over everything underneath the row we just put on. So the end right here, you're going to have 3 bands. Right here, you're still going to have 4 bands in the center. On this top up here to be 3 bands. I have those. I'll come into the front side here. 2 bands, 2 bands, 2 bands. And then 3 bands right here, 4 bands in the middle. They are tight because they are doubled. And then 3 bands on the corner, 2 bands for the rest. Like that. Now if you'd like, you can grab those shoulder straps and kind of pull them up so you can see the top of her dress here. Like so. So now we're going to increase around. So we're going to increase right here and right here. What you're going to do is take your hook, go in and grab the top band, pull it up. It should be coming from this pin right here. If it's not, then you'll kind of have to move the bands around a little bit, but you just want, so like this band comes around and goes up here. And this band we're just going to move out to here. So with those 2 bands we just moved, this one comes around to here, and this one goes to here. So they're kind of connected, but they're not. So technically they're not supposed to be crossing, is why we do that. So now I'm going to pick up the top band down here. This one is coming from this pin on the right, so I'll put it right here. And this one I'm just going to pick up and bring out, so it's not in a weird spot. Like so. So this is the row where you can start to change color if you want, and I want. So I'm going to use some of the cotton candy bands for the bottom portion of her skirt. And we're just going to go a row all the way around our new circle here with 1 band. I guess I should say, right now we're doing the last part of the skirt, so there's 7 rows is what I've done underneath here, and it's just 7 rows all the way around the entire time. Like I said, if you want to have the other side of this showing, you probably only want to do like 5 rows, so kind of keep that in mind. You also use less bands. It is 14 bands per row, so you could reduce it by like 28 bands by taking off 2 rows if you need to do that as well. Make sure that you keep track of your row count. I'm going to go around this entire row with a single band, like this. Takes me a minute, and I'll finish my thought. The button better be cute, being in my way so much. So after I get my row done, I'm going to automatically pick up 1 more band and put it over here, so I know that that's 1 row that I have on the loom, and I either need to loom because it's not loomed, or that I still have to go. So do my row around and then put a band over here. So we have, like I said, it's now 7 rows all the way till the end. So where we increase, there's only going to be 1 band to flip over. So it'll be like that on the other end as well. And then all the other ones will have 2 bands to flip over. So flip those all over. Push them down. So that's one row, and single band all the way around again. Just make sure I don't mix that one in. And 2 rows. So now all the way around and until you stop, it's going to be 2 bands to flip over. I don't know if anybody can tell, but I am really excited about this little figure, especially making the legs on the loom like I did. So, I think it's pretty ingenious to not have to sew them on afterwards, so that's pretty cool to me. I made this dress like 20 times before I finally go, okay, I like that. You can stop making it now. So I wanted it to be cute and versatile. So another 3rd row all the way around. I should tell you too that if you, for this design, to get the striping, you would alternate all the way around doing the same color. So I did orange and then I did black and then orange. If you do a different pattern, like so, if you do where you change, like if I would have done black, orange, then they kind of would have bled into each other. So kind of keep that in mind too. There's lots of, you can make some really neat patterns if you do different designs when you're putting them on there, so keep that in mind. More tips. I really do enjoy the fact that people are being inspired to create off on their own. I think that's fabulous. So, trying to give as many suggestions as I can for ideas. So there's 3rd row, bottom 2 all the way around. Push them down. Another row around. Like so. Flip over the bottom 2. I'm still waiting for after I put these out. Kind of excited about seeing the person to make like the zombie Hello Kitty or some of the other kind of different variations on her. I think that'd be super cute. Alright. One more row around. Well, 3 more technically, but so this is the 5th row. So once you have this row completed, if you want to have the shorter dress or the dress that has the other side, then you'll probably want to fast forward after this to see how I close it. And then, of course, see how to make the bow, or how I made the bow. I know there's tons of different bow designs out there, so I'm sure that there'll be other options to use. And I did simplify it a bit since the one I made in the carrot video. I had to remember there for a second. But I figured it was still, so 6th row. But I figure this one fits pretty well on our head, and it's fairly simple, so. So that's 6 rows. Get this one looped and then one more. I can already tell I'm going to like how this turned out. It's going to be pretty. Push those down. And then one more row. Alright, I'll skip my band. Whoops. Tossing at myself. I'll skip my band on the side since I know this is my last one. Like so. So now we want to close this. And how we're going to do that is, when I lay my bands, I go around the right side and come around, I guess, counterclockwise. If you lay them the other way, you're going to want to go to the opposite direction from which I go. Meaning, I go counterclockwise, so to close this, I'm going to go, or I lay the bands counterclockwise. So I'm going to go back to where I came from. So if you laid your bands going over this way, you're going to want to come back the same way. So what you're going to do is you're going to go in through your first spot here, grab that lower band, pick it up, pull it over to the next pin, go in through there, grab the bottom band, make sure it is the bottom band, pick it up, pull it up to the next pin, go in through there, grab that bottom band, pull it up onto the next pin, go in through there, pull up the bottom one, and we're just going to keep doing that all the way around. Slippery bands. And one more. I think so. So we're back to the start now. So what you're going to do, this is our only open point. You should be able to remove these back here without your dress falling apart. And then our only open point, I'm going to stick my hook through there. And now for our closing, depending on how you're going to have her wear the dress, which side you want out, you can just kind of tie these in a knot, and then they'll hide in the perimeter, which I think would actually be the best choice. So I'm going to pull these out and just tie it in a knot, because it'll hide fairly well in the design. But you can take another band, do a slip knot, lots of different options. So awesome. We need to take off her Halloween bow, so I have to make her a new one for her new dress. Put her dress on. I'll show you what the other side looks like as well. And if you do, like I did the button on there, I can pull it through to the other side too, so both sides look fabulous, I think. But we're going to have to wear it the other way. So, stretch. I think that trying to put these on is like trying to put clothes on my littlest ones. Always squirming. She doesn't squirm, but it seems like she fights me. Like, no, I don't want to put them on. So I think it turned out super cute. Very nice. So the bow, we'll give her a pink bow. And you can kind of make these as thick as you want them to be. I'm going to take probably 5 or 6 bands and just line them up on top of each other on the loom. So like that. And then I'll take another band and make my center white. I'm going to stick my hook underneath, grab that band over there, pull it over, put it on top of the pin. I'll go in through here, in through the top band, grab that bottom one, pull it up, and I'll take this off the pin. So now I can do a slip knot. I'm just going to pull it tight right in the center. So I'm going to take this off the loom, I'm going to grab the center and just pull it up. So there we have our bow. And then I take this extra tail here, and I'll just start wrapping it around the center. So we just want to kind of tighten it up so it's out of the way. And you can kind of go as many times around as you want. Now you can just leave it here if you want, and then just attach it how I show you. Or if you want to make the kind of the center a little bit bigger, you can take 2 bands, put them on your hook in that figure 8, grab one side, wrap it around again, so you have it wrapped around 3 times. I'm going to hook all of my bands on one side of the bow. And this kind of, it's a little tricky, but holding it, I'm kind of holding it all in one hand, and I'll grab these the white bands that I want to put on. One second here. Grab those, and then I'll pull them over the top. And then position them in the center. So it has kind of a bigger, fuller center bow. Then kind of bunch it all up in the middle. Like so. So then what you want to do is take your hook and go through some of that banding in the back. I'm going to pick and you'll take another band, pull it through. So once you have that band pulled through, it should stay there pretty well. Put one side of this on your hook, then find your spot. Get ahead of myself. Grab that other end, pull it through everything on your hook. So when you get it through that, just kind of hold your bow where you want it to be and then start pulling tight, and you can position it where you need to. And then you want to take and hide your tail, so come up through the back side somewhere. Grab your tail and pull that down in. hide it. So I'll have to fix that a little bit, but I think it turned out pretty super cute. So I hope you enjoy this. I hope you enjoy the little Hello Kitty and the dresses that you can make, because there are endless possibilities for the different things that you can do. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope to see some really super creative dresses, and of course I'd like you to share them with me on my either Instagram, which is at Crafting Fantastic, or on my Facebook page, which is Crafting Fantastic or Feelinspiffy. There's a link underneath the video for that as well. And then of course subscribing to my channel so you can see when I come out with new things would be awesome. I want to thank you again for watching. I hope that you like this little doll idea with the changeable clothes. So I think it's super cute. But thanks for watching, and I will have more for you soon.